Hello students, welcome again to the learning of lesson 7 more on Python. My dear students, in the previous part of this chapter we have discussed about the various types of operators in Python, that are arithmetic operators, binary operators, string operators, relational operators, assignment operators. After then we come to know about the precedence of operators, that in which order will they be executed, and associativity, which told us that if more than one operators of the same associativity, same precedence will be in an equation, then how will be they execute from left to right or from right to left. Now after then we have understood that what is an algorithm and flowchart, how they represent a program into a written mode and a program in a graphics mode. My dear students, now we are going further, knowing more about Python. There are various types of statements under the program. Some statements are known as sequential statements, or you can say sequential program. Some statements are known as conditional statements, and some are known as iterative statements. Sequential statements are those statements which are executed one by one from top to bottom in the manner. Conditional statements are those statements which executes by checking a condition first and then executing the appropriate code according to the condition. The iterative statements are those statements which are responsible to repeat any particular statement for more than one time until the condition is true. All these are collectively known as control structures. Now we are going to understand the conditional statements in descriptive manner. So conditional statements, as I told you earlier, a statement which is based on condition, which will be executed on the base of a condition, that is called a conditional statement. Before you start writing programs based on conditions, it is important to understand how conditional program works. In conditional programming, the most important element is the condition. Actually, this condition is made up of logical or relational operators, which when solved they produce the result as true or false, on which the decision is based. If the condition is true, some set of statement will execute. If the condition result is false, some other set of statement will execute. Only the one set of a statement is executed, either the true set of a statement or the false set of statements. The conditional statement check the condition and execute the statements accordingly. The condition statements can be represented in many forms. Yes, it is in many forms. It is in form of if statement, if it is in form of if else statement, if elif else statement. My dear students, we can use the if statement when we have a condition to check and we know what should happen if the condition result is true. Only in this situation we use the if statement. We place the condition just after the if statement. The compiler, the Python compiler, checks the condition's result. If it is true, the just next set of statement will execute. If the condition's result is false, just next set of statements will be skipped over. Let us, you can understand by this example. A number is taken as input. The number will be stored into A. Now a condition is placed if A is less than 200. So whatever the value is entered by the user, if it is less than 200, means if the condition is true, it will print the number is less than 200. For example, you can see here the output code, enter a number, user has entered 150. Because 150 is less than 200, so the condition result is true. So when the condition result is true, the statement just next after the if statement will execute, that is the number is less than 200. But suppose if the number is greater than 200, then what will happen? It is not stated here. So in this situation, the compiler will not, the interpreter will not print the output statement in the situation when the value of a is greater than 200. So for that situation, we can use the if-else statement. In if-else statement, we place both the statements set. You can see one statement set is here and one statement set is here. One is just after the if statement and one is after the else statement. When the condition produced a true result, then statements set 1 will be executed. If the condition's result is false, then it will skip the statement set 1 and execute the statement set 2. Means in the case of true of the condition, statement set 1 will execute. In the case of false of the condition, statement set 2 will execute. So this is how we can use the if-else statement. You can see in the program, if a is less than 200, it will print the number is less than 200. Otherwise, if it is greater than 200, means if the condition result is false, it will jump to the else part and execute the else part, which is statement set 2, that is the number is greater than 200. The third structure of if control structure is if-elif else statement. My dear students, when we have only one condition to check and we know that what to do in the true case of the condition and don't know what to do in the false case of the condition, then we use the if statement. When we have a situation that we have to check a condition and we know that what to do in the true case of the condition and what to do in the false case of the condition, then we can use the if-else statement. Both the statements are used only in the situation when there is only one condition to be checked. But if we have more than one conditions to check, then in that situation we can use the if-elif else statement. Let us see the syntax of this statement. We start the structure with if statement. We give the first condition. If the condition result is true, statement set 1 will execute. If the condition result is false, it will jump to the elif part. Elif is actually short form of else if. So when the condition result is false, it jumps to the else part where one more if is there to check another condition. So in short it is written as elif, else if. So else, again one condition is there. If this condition's result is true, statement set 2 will execute. Otherwise, if the condition result is false, it will jump to the else part and then whatever the statement set 3 is written over there, that will execute. Means in this structure we can check more than one condition. Condition 1, condition 2, condition 3. In the same order you can place all the conditions and their statement set. At last you have to place an else statement which will execute when no any conditions becomes true. When no any conditions will becomes true, then the statement written with the else part will be execute. My dear students, I have made some programs which is given in your book. Let us see those programs working. I have already created those programs. First of all, we will see the program based on the sequential statements. So I am opening the file, click on file, open. Area. Now I already made this program hash program to find area of rectangle. Here hash is representing that it is a comment line. Comment line is what? Comment line is that line which is avoided by the Python interpreter for execution. So if you make any line as a comment line by placing the hash symbol, that line will be avoided by the interpreter or the compiler, language compiler. It will not execute by the interpreter or compiler. As in QBasic, you were writing the rem statement for giving headings to the program. The rem statements make the whole statement unexecutable. In the same way, the hash is doing the same work. So it is just here for the heading of the program and nothing else. It will not take part into the compilation. So a program is here for finding the area of rectangle. For finding the area of rectangle, I have written a program which will be known as a sequential program. Why? Because in this program all the statements will execute one by one from top to bottom and show their output on the output screen. Let us run this program. Run module. Now the program is running. The first line is executing. Enter the length of rectangle. This message is flashed over here. Now the cursor is blinking, asking for the input. Why? Because the message is under the input statement, so it is asking for the input, but that input will be considered as the string input, so it is must to convert it into the float form. Float means the decimal number format. So let us enter a value, suppose 5. Press enter. As I have pressed enter, the value 5 is stored into L variable. Now the next line is executing. Enter the width of rectangle. Enter the width of rectangle. Cursor is again blinking, asking for the input. I'll give the input 6. That will convert into float and then stored into B when I'll press the enter key. So I'm pressing the enter key. After then, the processing statement executed. L into B executed, that is 5 into 6, and the result is stored into AR, which is 30, and the last line printed the output onto the output screen. Area is equals to 30.0. So area is equals to was a message under the double quotation, so it is printed as it is, and AR is a variable without any double quotation, so the value of AR is printed at the place of AR. So in this way a sequential program is executing. Now let us see some programs based on the conditional structure. I am opening another program. Let us close it. Now students, in this program, the heading is program to check a number is greater than 200 or not. It is a conditional structure program, so all statement will not execute. Only the selected statement will execute, which will follow the condition. So in this program, the first statement is to enter any number. That number will be converted into integer and then stored into A. So let us run this program first. The program is running. Enter any number. Message is flashed. Now I am inputting a number, that is 150. Enter. The number is stored into A. The next statement was if A is greater than 200. Now the value of A will be checked with the help of this relational operator with 200, that whether the value of A is greater than 200 or not. If the condition result is true, it will print this message. If the condition result is false, it will jump to the else part and print this message. So you can see the number is less than 200 message is printed, which is in the else part, because 150 is not greater than 200, condition result is false, so it jumps to the else part and printed this message, number is less than 200. Let us run this program again and give another set of value. Enter any number. Now I am giving 300. Enter. Now you can see the message is changed now. It is greater than 200. So according to the condition result, the selected set of statements are executed in the conditional structure. When the value of A was greater than 200, it printed greater than 200. When the value of A is less than 200, it printed number is less than 200. Let us check more programs based on this structure. Now this program is to check a number is positive or not. Means we will enter a number and computer will print the number entered is positive or a negative. Let me change this message, positive number and negative number. Save it first before the execution. You know well, to save a program we write the file name and then .py is important to write to show that it is a Python program. So now let us run it. Run module. Enter any number. The first instruction of the program was the input statement with this message, enter any number. So it is flashed onto the output screen asking for a number. I have given 5. After this statement, the condition is placed if A is greater than 0. You know well, the number which is greater than 0 are treated as positive numbers and the numbers which are less than 0 are treated as negative numbers. So here the condition is if A is greater than 0, if the condition result is true, it will print positive number, otherwise it will print negative number. So press 5, enter. It is a positive number because it is greater than 5. Let us run the module again. Now this time I am giving a negative value, -6. It is less than 0. So condition will not become true. It will jump to else part and will execute the set of statement written in the else part. So enter. Can see negative number. So in this way you can place different set of statements in the true part of the program or in the false part of the program. According to the conditions result, the particular set of statement will execute. I have made one more program which is given in your book on page number 100, practice time 1. The program is actually to check a PIN number entered by the user is actually a 4-digit PIN number or not. Means user have to enter a PIN number and that PIN number must contain 4 digits. Hash program to check a PIN is entered correctly or not. So first of all, let us run this program. Now the first statement is enter the PIN number 4 digits. Enter the PIN number 4 digits. This message is flashed with the help of the input statement. Input is asking from the Python. That will be converted to int and stored into A. So let us give a PIN number, 3-digit PIN number. Let us give the wrong value. Computer is asking for the 4-digit. We have given 3 digits. Now what will happen? After the input value will be checked. If it is greater than 1000 and it is less than or equals to 9999, means to check a PIN number is valid 4-digit PIN number or not, that 4 digits must be either 1000 or greater than 1000 and less than or equals to 9999. I must place a equals to symbol here because 1000 is also a 4-digit number. So if the condition 1, that is a is greater than 1000, if it is true, 2, that is a is less than 9999, if it will also becomes true, means when condition 1 and condition 2 both will become true, then it will produce a true result, because AND operator is used here. When there is an AND operator used, I told you all the conditions are checked for true and false, and when all the conditions returns true, then the overall result will becomes true. So when the value of a is greater than or equals to 1000 and a is less than or equals to 9999, then it will print the message pin is valid, otherwise it will print the message invalid pin. So value is entered, press enter, can see invalid pin message is flashed, because this number does not lie between 1000 and 9999. Let us execute the program once again. Enter the pin number, 4-digit pin number, so 4, 5, 6 and 7. Now press enter. You can see the pin is valid. So in this way we can make the programs which are based on single condition statement, and accordingly the output is produced on the output screen. By checking the condition result is true or false, the appropriate set of statements are executed. But there are situations when we have more than one conditions to check. For that I am showing you another program which is given in your book on page number 101. This program is to print the name of the color on the basis of corresponding color code. Means user will enter a color code, and according to the code of the color, the name of the color will be printed. You can see in the program, first of all we have taken input of a color code. The input will be the first letter of the color, that is A, B, C or D, like that. So according to that character value, the color name will be printed. So as you can see in the input statement, enter any color code, this message will flash, and user will enter any color code, that will be a character. Other than these characters, V, I, B, G, Y, O, R, other than these characters, if user will enter any other code, invalid color code message will be flashed. Because I told you earlier, when no conditions becomes true, then the else part is executed. So here the conditions are the code of the color, which is actually the first character of the color name. So if code is equals to, double is equals to, will check the equality. I told you in the chapter, for when there is single equals to, it is an assignment symbol. When there is a double equals to, it is an equals to symbol. So if the value of the code which is entered by the user is equals to this character, that is V, if the condition is true, it will print violet. If the condition is not true, it will jump to the else part, elif, which is short form of else if, where it will check another condition whether the value of code is equals to I or not. If it is true, it will print indigo, otherwise it will check another condition whether the code is equals to B. If it is true, it will print blue, otherwise check another condition. If the code is G, it will print green, otherwise it will check another condition. If the code is equals to Y, it will print yellow. If it is not true, it will jump to another condition. If the code is O, if this condition is true, it will print orange, otherwise it will jump to the another condition. If code is equals to R, if this condition is true, it will print red, Otherwise, if no conditions are true, then it will jump to else part and print invalid color. Let us run this program. Come to run module. Sorry, one thing I left the semicolon symbol here everywhere. So let me first correct the program. Until unless your program is correct, it will not execute. It will prompt the error message. You have to read the error message carefully and then remove all the errors from the program. So it is must to place a semicolon with every if, elif and else statement. Save it first, then run the module. Now the program is running correctly. Enter any color code. The first line is executing and I am entering the color code, that is G, green. Press enter. Now green is printed onto the output screen. So what happened actually, when I entered the code G, that is stored into the code variable, now one by one it is checked to the values given. Where the value is matched, their condition becomes true and the statement of the true part is executed. Let us run the program again. Now you can see again it is asking for the color code. I have given 8. 8 is nowhere specified for the color code. So let's see what will happen. Enter. So the message is flashed invalid color code. Why? Because 8 is nowhere matched with any of the condition, means and no condition becomes true. So when no condition becomes true, it jumps to the else part and the message which is given there, invalid color code, that is printed by the Python onto the output screen. So in this way students, you can work on the single condition and you can also work on multiple conditions in Python by using the control structures. Rest programs which are given in the book, see all the programs and try to do the programs with pencil in your fair copy. When we will meet after the lockdown, I'll check the programs. If there are any mistakes, we'll discuss about the mistakes. Till then students, this chapter is over. Try to do the exercises, write all the exercises with pen, but their answers with pencil. And question and answers you will get in the PDF in your WhatsApp group. Do your studies honestly, staying at home, stay safe. Thank you students, have a good time.